Let's kick things off with the huge trial that threatens to destroy a politician's career. Not Trump's trial. He'll get off scot-free. No. I'm talking about public opinion versus Kristi Noem, South Dakota governor and big fan of the last 2 minutes of Old Yeller. The mainstream liberal media has been coming at her for days just because her new memoir has a little story in it about executing a puppy. So now she's turning to her base on conservative media to find some support. But it turns out that even they are having a hard time with this.
What happens if you are debating Kamala Harris and she says, well, wait a second, you shot your dog?
I never tell anybody my personal conversations.
Did the dog story come up in a conversation with Trump?
I talk to President Trump all the time.
About the dog?
About a lot of things.
Governor, if you asked me a month ago who's at the top of the list to run with Donald Trump, I would have said your name. If you asked me that same question this morning, I don't even think you're on the list.
These people are harsh. You're not even on the list. Not on the VP list, not on the cabinet list, not even on Craig's list. I will say, for the past few years, I have been wondering how far is too far for the right-wing MAGA crowd. And now we know. It's shooting your dog in a gravel pit. That is not acceptable until Trump does it. Then every Republican has to shoot their dog just to stay in the party. So, kudos, right-wing media, for putting your foot down against killing dogs. You can hold your head up high and go back to your regularly scheduled segment, Why Don't We Toss the Migrant Kids into the Grand Canyon? Check it out. It's a very compelling segment. Every Wednesday at 9. But not everyone in conservative media had their knives out for Kristi Noem. In the bowels of Newsmax, Eric Bolling tried his best to throw her a lifeline.
Governor, I've also written a couple of books, and I know how the process works. You write some chapters. You don't write the whole book at once. You write a chapter or two. You send it to the editors, and they edit. They read it. They add. They subtract. And here's my question. The editor, was she possibly a plant, a liberal plant?
A liberal plant editor, Eric. She wrote the book. She wrote it. You can tell conservatives don't really believe any of their conspiracy bullshit by how casually they try to fit one into any scandal. Just say your editor was a liberal plant, Kristi. Maybe your dog was trying to rig the election. Maybe your dog was DEI. Is that something? I don't know. Just pick one. Believe it or not, shooting her dog isn't the only scandal about Noem's book. There's also a story about when she met with North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un, where she wrote, I remember when I met with North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un. Except she had to take that story out because she never actually met with North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un. And she says the story was put in there by accident, and she took it out as soon as she found out, even though she wrote the book and recorded the audiobook. And if you're wondering, didn't she find that out when she recorded the audiobook? You're not the only one.
You said when you learned of it, you immediately took action. You recorded the whole book and the audiobook. You read this whole passage out loud. Why didn't you take it out then when you read the audiobook?
You know, I've traveled for years. I've been involved in policy for almost 30 years. And so I've gone all across the world. I've met with world leaders.
So you didn't realize when you recorded the audiobook?
When it was brought to my attention, and I asked the publisher if they would remove the name, and they did.
Okay, but you didn't answer my question. When you posted pictures and video of yourself recording the audiobook. When you recorded your own audiobook, you didn't notice this passage?
I'm not going to discuss about my meetings with world leaders.
I'm not asking you to. I'm asking you about recording the audiobook.
Did you want to talk about something else today?
For God's sakes, can we talk about something else? I shot a dog once. Did you hear about that? Kim Jong-un is not someone you forget meeting. He's a madman. No one's ever like, yeah, I met Hitler. Oh, wait, Adolf Hitler? I was thinking of a different one. Greg Hitler from Tampa. That's who I was thinking of, yeah.